Prepare the required tools. Power off the tablet. Use an eject pin to remove the SIM card tray. Place the tablet on the heating platform with the TP facing down. Heat the tablet at 65 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. Fix the rear cover on the general fixture. Attach the vacuum cup to the TP. Pull up the TP to open a gap. Insert the opening pick in the gap and swipe it along the edges to cut the adhesive. Separate the TP LCD and turn over its bottom. Remove the Mylar from the LCD FPC connector. Open the ZIF keyboard clip and pull out the FPC. Separate the TP LCD from the rear cover assembly. Remove the adhesive from the TP LCD and the rear cover at an angle smaller than 70 degrees if there is any remaining adhesive. Use the removed adhesive to attach and remove the residual adhesive. Clean the components using a piece of lint-free cloth dipped in alcohol. Remove the Mylar from the PCBA. Use a screwdriver to remove the 14 screws from the support, including 13 silver screws and 1 black screw. Use plastic tweezers to remove the battery B2B connector steel sheet, rear camera steel sheet, motor steel sheet, and main FPC steel sheet. Use plastic tweezers to remove the upper speaker ZIF connector Mylar and the front camera ZIF connector Mylar. Remove the rear camera copper foil from the shielding cover. Use the B2B connector removal tool to remove the battery B2B connector, main FPC B2B connector, LCD FPC B2B connector, rear camera B2B connector. Use plastic tweezers to loosen the upper speaker FPC ZIF connector. If the tabloid is a HUAWEI edition, remove the connector Mylar and the microphone subboard FPC. Use plastic tweezers to pry out the upper speaker at its lower right corner, and then remove it. Remove the antenna support, rear camera, and the camera copper foil. Use plastic tweezers to remove the foam from the top of the coaxial cable on the antenna subboard. Attach the foam to the lower speaker. Remove the coaxial cable from the cable groove. Pry out the PCBA at its bottom and turn it over. Use plastic tweezers to pry out the coaxial cable head. Remove the coaxial cable. Use plastic tweezers to remove the conductive fabric of the front camera. Turn over the PCBA and place it on the workbench. Remove the front camera. Take a new PCBA. Check that springs and conductive foam on it are intact. Fasten one end of a new coaxial cable on the PCBA. Insert the cable into the metal slot. Turn over the PCBA. Fasten the front camera FPC B2B connector. Attach a piece of conductive fabric to the back of the front camera. Bend the battery B2B connector and LCD FPC B2B connector. Tilt and insert the headed jack and front camera on the PCBA in the slots. Fasten its B2B connector. Insert the rear camera in the slot. Fasten its B2B connector. Attach a piece of copper foil to the back of the rear camera. Fasten the other end of the coaxial cable to the antenna subboard. Attach the foam to the coaxial cable end. Use plastic tweezers to fit the coaxial cable in the groove. Align the upper speaker assembly with the top of the middle frame and insert it into the slot. Insert the speaker FPC ZIF connector in the keyboard clip and fasten it. Insert the antenna support into the rear cover assembly. Insert the microphone subboard FBC ZIF connector in the keyboard clip on the PCBA and fasten it. Fasten the LCD FBC B2B connector, main FBC B2B connector, battery B2B connector. Install the battery B2B connector steel sheet, rear camera steel sheet, motor steel sheet, main FBC B2B connector steel sheet. Tighten the 13 silver screws and 1 black screw in sequence. Attach the corresponding mylar to the upper speaker, front camera, FBC connector, and microphone FBC ZIF connector. Attach a warranty sticker to the specified screw. Remove the mylar from the microphone subboard ZIF connector. Remove 1 silver screw and 3 black screws in sequence. Remove the battery B2B connector seal sheet. Use the B2B connector removal tool to pry out the battery B2B connector. Pry the microphone subboard out of the rear cover assembly. Use plastic tweezers to open the keyboard clip of the microphone subboard FBC ZIF connector. Take out the microphone subboard FBC ZIF connector and remove the microphone subboard. Take a new microphone subboard and check its appearance. Insert the FBC into the connector, and then install the subboard on the rear cover assembly. Fasten the battery B2B connector. Install the battery B2B connector steel sheet. Tighten 1 silver screw and 3 black screws in sequence. Remove the 3 silver screws and 2 black screws in sequence. Remove the battery B2B connector steel sheet and USB support. Use the B2B connector removal tool to pry out the battery B2B connector. Take out the USB subboard and turn it over. Unfasten the main FBC B2B connector on the back of the subboard. Check the appearance of the new USB subboard. Fasten the main FBC B2B connector on the subboard. Turn over the subboard and insert it into the rear cover assembly. Tilt and insert the USB support in place. Fasten the battery B2B connector. Install the battery B2B connector steel sheet. Tighten the 3 silver screws and 2 black screws in sequence. Remove the upper speaker, antenna support, and PCBA. Pry out the coaxial cable head on the PCBA. Use plastic tweezers to remove the foam from the coaxial cable head on the antenna subboard. Remove the foam from the lower speaker. Pry out the coaxial cable head and remove the coaxial cable from the groove. Remove the 2 silver screws and 6 black screws from the USB subboard and lower speaker. Remove the USB support and USB subboard. Pry out the lower speaker and slowly remove the speaker FBC. Use plastic tweezers to pry out the antenna subboard at its upper left corner. Install the new antenna subboard on the rear cover assembly. Slightly press the antenna subboard. Align the new speaker with the bottom of the rear cover assembly and insert it into place. Align the speaker FBC with the locating holes and attach it properly. Install the USB subboard and USB support. Fasten the 2 silver screws and 6 black screws on the lower speaker and USB subboard. Fasten a new coaxial cable on the antenna subboard and the PCBA. Install the PCBA, antenna support, and upper speaker. Tighten all the screws. Fit the coaxial cable in the groove. Attach the foams to the coaxial cable head and the specified screw. Remove all the screws, including 15 silver screws and 10 black screws. Remove the upper speaker, antenna support, PCBA, coaxial cable. microphone subboard, USB subboard, and lower speaker. Take a new rear cover assembly. Remove the release film from the antenna subboard. Install the antenna subboard. Install the lower speaker, USB subboard, microphone subboard, coaxial cable, PCBA, antenna support, and upper speaker in sequence. Tighten the 15 silver screws and 10 black screws in sequence. Remove the antenna support, upper speaker, and PCBA. Use metal tweezers to pry out the motor. Remove the motor adhesive from the slot. Attach the motor to the slot. Remove the release films from the adhesives on a new motor. Use your finger to press the motor to activate the adhesive. Install the PCBA, upper speaker, and antenna support. Remove the antenna support, upper speaker, and PCBA. Pry out the side buttons from the outside. Release the side button support and then remove the side buttons. Insert new side buttons into the slots from the inside. Fix the side button support on the locating pins. Install the PCBA, antenna support, and upper speaker. Remove the 4 silver screws from the battery B2B connector steel sheet, rear camera steel sheet, and antenna support. Remove the battery B2B connector steel sheet. Remove the rear camera steel sheet. Unfasten the battery B2B connector. Remove the rear camera copper foil. Remove the antenna support and rear camera. Use plastic tweezers to push out the camera lens from the inside. Remove the adhesive from the rear camera lens decorative part. Attach a piece of adhesive to the decorative part. Install a new rear camera lens. Use your thumb to press the lens for about 30 seconds. Install the rear camera, antenna support, steel sheet on the PCBA. Tighten all the screws. Attach Mylars to the speaker connector and front camera connector respectively. Attach a piece of Mylar and 1 warranty sticker to the tablet. Remove the release film from a piece of new TP adhesive. Place it on the general adhesive attachment fixture and close the covers. Attach the vacuum cup to the TP. Press the TP against the adhesive. Press the edges of the TP to fix the adhesive. Remove the release film from the adhesive on the TP. Hold the rear cover assembly in your left hand. Use your right hand to fasten the LCD FPC ZIF connector on the back of the TP. Use plastic tweezers to attach a piece of Mylar to the ZIF connector. Check that the front camera and front camera lens on the TP are free of smudges and foreign objects. Install the TP LCD on the rear cover assembly. Check that the handheld roller is free of foreign objects. Press fit the adhesive area of the TP. Ensure that only the green part of the pressure indicator on the top is exposed. Use the roller to press fit each edge 4 to 5 times. Press fit each long edge for around 3 seconds each time. Press fit each short edge for around 2 seconds each time. Press fit each corner for 10 seconds. Insert the SIM card tray into the tablet. Press the power button and check that the device starts up.